play. And Mikel's just, there's something. And I think he's done a great job as well. And I think he should have won the league at least once or twice in the last 2 or 3 years. They should have got over the line. And no one's shouting around this table saying Arsenal this, Arsenal that. We're actually saying we're a bit.
But you won't get over the line when you draw 14 league games.
Yeah, I think we're a bit concerned about our predictions. I'd say I'm concerned about my prediction already. I'm not changing. You don't change your predictions. But you don't change your predictions. You predict Arsenal with the title.
You can in September, surely.
I'm worried about my prediction now because I'm seeing the same patterns from last season.
I didn't expect to feel a little bit apprehensive like I do now, because, and that's just on his selection for this game. Yeah. With the games coming up as well, I think he's just got to, like you say, he's just got to let it go and trust the guys to get it done now, because I'm not sure what more there is to do in respect to the size of the squad he's got, the quality of the squad he's got. I don't know, like I say, you can look at the players he's got maybe before that City game, and I don't know what scenario where Eze and Martinelli in that is not playing. So that's a massive worry for me. And if he's going to change in that respect and not maybe feel like he's trying to defend against a Manchester City side that have played so many games, the three of them, like the same team 3 consecutive times. Yeah. You've got to go for that team. And then if we are winning, and I think them scoring early like they did, City kind of set it up for them even to drop into that. But if we are winning and then you want to hold on to it, then you bring on those players.
Right, Arsenal, you mentioned just earlier that you felt they were a little bit defensive against PSG.
Well,
Can you elaborate?
I'm not having the people saying that Arsenal are defensive or our manager's defensive. I thought that was pretty pragmatic the other day to start. Right, simple. But, it's a tough one simply because when you look at what he's done, even 22, 23, the most, what did we get, 91 goals the same season, Jane. We only conceded 29, so it's not conservative, I think. We've got a midfield player playing up front in Marino, doing well for us last season, scoring the Champions League, ended up getting second. So I don't think that we are defensive in that way. But I think in that particular game, I thought he was too pragmatic in his selection. Yeah. I believe, and what happened in the end, what we saw with, and I don't know if it's because we've got the kind of squad now, the squad rotation, where he's starting to think too much, I don't know, but what I thought was, and what we saw was Eze and Martinelli, especially Martinelli in this kind of form, because we'd like to see him be, more consistent continually, because if he was, it'd be electric and very, very difficult to stop. I thought that he would have given more than Trossard, and I thought that Eze is probably going to give us more, like he said, what we saw in the end, than maybe Marino in that particular game. So in that particular game, with the squad we've got, you have to say it was pretty pragmatic from him.
Right, he's obviously yesterday been interviewed before the game. It's obviously he's a little bit sore on it. I think everybody was of the same opinion though on Saturday. If you could hear the Arsenal fans behind us in the first half, or even before the game.
I was getting there.
So if you look at what he said yesterday, but if the intention of those comments, which are the good ones, positive to be better for us, not to be so good for us, it depends where the comment is coming from. That's when I can analyse it. So how can you dominate against such a team if you have, what was the word? Handbrake, which I think I said that in the second half of the game, or first half even. Dominance and handbrake, they are two very different words. So he thinks he's dominated that game. I think he's got the handbrake on. Maybe you think he's got the handbrake on. Maybe you do. I think you do. I don't think 70,000 or 60,000 Arsenal fans can be wrong in how they feel. I don't think any of us that were in that studio or in that stadium or watching at home can be wrong either. The big thing for me is the players. He names that team on Friday afternoon, or let's say Thursday afternoon in training, and he leaves out Eze, and he leaves out Martinelli, and he puts Trossard in and Marino. I guarantee you that dressing room straight away, I look at him thinking, You've done it the same again. You did this at Anfield, a little bit at Old Trafford, but certainly at Anfield, he could have been more attacking and he wasn't. And certainly against City from the start, he couldn't be attacking. He could have been more attacking.
I thought he would have.
He's going to regret this if he doesn't start to take the handbrake off. I'm going to repeat the comment handbrake because he's got players there that need to play in these games. Because you can't look back at the end of a season and think, I've lost at Anfield, I've dropped points at home against City, I've dropped 5 points now in those 2 matches, and I could have picked a more attacking team. I think there is a problem there that's starting to sort of become a pattern for him.
I feel like when you look at what we've done at Liverpool, I thought that Ødegaard and Eze substitutions were maybe a bit too late. I think he tried the same thing with Bilbao, and that worked. And I think he was with a City side that, three games on the spin, they've used the same team. I thought that he was going to come out and really have a blast at them, because it looked to me like City. Whatever happens, if once they scored their goal, they were going to go to the 5-4-1. They look like they've practiced that. And then I'm thinking, because they're going to be tired, I thought we should have went at them. And then, in the end, he's going to bring on the two substitutes like he done again with Eze and Martinelli. I think that, again, he didn't go for it. He should have went for it. And then, you know, you bring on those players. You bring on Marino. You bring on Ben White. You bring on those kind of people to see the game out. But, like, I think he's just got it wrong at the moment with what he's done there. I just feel. Is he overthinking? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think he's done a brilliant job. Listen, he spent a lot of money. I think, for me, the best squad of players in the Premier League now. And I don't think this is something that we'd accuse him of every week. But it does feel like there's important moments, and he always chooses caution over courage. I'm convinced of it.
Is that what Pep used to do? Remember Pep's early doors? He used to tinker
around
with it.
That might be overthinking. I think this is different. I think he always goes for that side of it in terms of...
What are you saying no, Gal? What?
No, so I'll tell you why I'm saying no, because Pep's teams were, I think, the best defensively. But when I think back to that first Pep team that won the league, he had Sané, Aguero, Sterling, and he had David Silva and De Bruyne in midfield. And then he had, obviously, Fernandinho behind. So if you've got David Silva and De Bruyne here, and you've got Sané and Sterling, and you've got Aguero, you've got 5 players there that are really set up to attack. Now, they were brilliant defensively on transition as well. So for me, I don't remember a Ferguson team, a Guardiola team. I remember a Mourinho team at times maybe being a bit... Even Mourinho's team, if you think about it, he had Lampard and SCM running forward, and then he had Robben, Duff, Drogba. I think he picks the most defensive teams he possibly can at times, Mikel Arteta, in big games. Not overly defensive, but I think he could be more attacking. He could dial it up.
He picks the power, doesn't he, over creation. You know, you pick Mourinho. Now, the thing that's frustrated me a little bit is the game at Anfield and the game against Man City. Some of the things that have been said by maybe yourself or Arsenal fans is right. You go to Anfield and Liverpool can batter teams there. You've been in the game and you've lost to a fluke or a free kick. But my point being is, and you can say the game against Man City, and Arteta, you can argue, was right in that we dominated them. The worst possession they've had, we forced them to go to back 5.
But does fortune favour the brave?
No, I agree, Gary. All them things are right. You can say that. There's no doubt about that. But it can't get away from the fact that wasn't Liverpool at Anfield. That was Liverpool on the back of conceding 2 goals in the first 3 games against inferior opposition. And we all know, we've all played in big away games where, OK, it's Anfield, you go there and you think, if you get through that first half at 0-0, then it's like, then you've got to go again. And they didn't. They allowed Liverpool to come back again. I think the difference with City was you had to start with in that game. The City have played Thursday night.
Exactly.
Haven't had a great start to the season. It was almost like, we'll see how the game goes, and we've got our players on the bench to come on. It's a bit like, no, you've got to go for them for the throat. You've got to go right from the start.
Ian Wright and Gary Neville clashed in a heated debate over Mikel Arteta's latest team selection, with both pundits passionately dissecting the decision to start Eberechi Eze and Gabriel Martinelli. Wright backed Arteta's bold choices, praising the attacking spark and unpredictability the pair bring, while Neville questioned whether the balance of the side was compromised, arguing that Arsenal risked leaving themselves exposed. Their back and forth created a lively discussion that captured the excitement and tension surrounding Arsenal's tactical approach, leaving fans split on whether Arteta's gamble will prove to be a masterstroke or a costly risk.